What up, everybody? It's your boy Young Fizz, aka Mr. Dope Status on Instagram, and welcome back to another tutorial. So today we are back inside the machine, and I want to help you guys understand how to use the beat delay inside of the machine. So if you haven't already, if you could do me a favor, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and please do not forget to turn on the bell notification so whenever I drop a new video, you will be the first one to be notified. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's tutorial, which is understanding beat delay inside of the machine. All right, so the first thing, let's just go ahead and play the beat so you understand what I'm working with today. Let's go ahead and load up the beat delay. So we're gonna go to internal and then do beat delay. And I have this applied right here on the sound level, and it's on the hi-hat here. All right, so that is the default setting there. It's on 3/16. The unit is on 1/16 there. And as you can see, there's some parameters that we must understand. So we can just understand how to use beat delay a little bit better. And the parameters here are the time, the offset, the feedback, crossover, color, split, stereo, mix, and then of course on the second tab, you have the unit. All right, so starting with the time. So what is the time? Basically, it's like our unit of measure that we use to say, hey, machine, out of what 16th do we want to delay our notes? So you have 1/32 notes, 1/16, 2/16, 3/16, 4/16, and so on. All right, so let's just go ahead and try a different one here. Let's just say 2/16. Let's go ahead and do 1/16. So one thing that I want you guys to take note is that the beat delay is automatically synced to the tempo of the session. So what does that mean? So our tempo or BPM is at 86 beats per minute. So that's what beat delay is basically reading off of. The next thing I want to talk to you about is the offset. And basically this is used to shift the delay in relation to the tempo. So let's listen to what this sounds like back on the 3/16 here. And let's go ahead and say number 2. Number 3, let's go to number 4. So you can kind of hear how this is starting to change the rhythm of the beat. And so that's what offset does. Again, it just kind of shifts the delay in relation to the tempo. All right, so now that we understand the time and the offset, let's talk about feedback. So what exactly is the feedback? The feedback adjusts the amount of the output signal that is fed back into the input. So what does that mean? So basically with the feedback, if you turn it all the way to the left, that means it's not making any copies. Or should I say very few copies. But if I turn it more to the right, it's going to make more copies. So that is the feedback. All right, so now the crossover is pretty cool because this allows for the panning between the signal rhythmically in the stereo field. So let's just go ahead and say, we're going to turn on the feedback here, and then we're going to turn up the crossover. And then I'm going to use the stereo just to kind of help us out just a little bit. So I hope you guys get the idea of how that works. It basically, again, just adjust the panning of the feedback signal rhythmically in the stereo field. So I'm going to reset that there, and then I'm going to reset this, and I just double click to reset all this. All right, so now that we understand the crossover, let's talk a little bit about the color. So basically the color is pretty cool too, because this is defined as the basic frequency of the feedback circuit. So if you do at a lower value, it's going to be more of a darker or dense sound, whereas the higher values brightens the sound. So let's go ahead and take a listen here. Start off with turning it to the left. Now let's turn it all the way to the right. So as you can hear, it kind of sounds like a high pass filter or like a low pass filter. And that is pretty much the color. So now that we talked about the color, let's go ahead and talk about the split here. So the split controls the difference in frequencies between the left and the right channel. At full left, this control is disabled. So let's go ahead and turn it all the way to the left. Let's turn it all the way to the right. Now let's kind of mix it in here. So think of it as a frequency control. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is the output section. And we have two knobs here, which is the stereo and then the mix. And as you saw me adjust earlier, you can hear how the stereo widens the sound. Now, if I turn this to the left, basically what that does, it creates a negative value inverse of the stereo field effect. And last but not least, we have the mix knob, which allows you to control the wet-dry ratio between the mix output. So you're probably asking yourself, when does the mix come in handy? So the mix comes in handy when you have it inserted right here on the sound tab. Now, if in old school recording, what we would do is put the delay on an aux and we would turn the mix all the way up and then we get the full signal here. But with Maschine, it's a lot easier. So we can just basically adjust it from here. So today we've talked about the time, we've talked about the offset, we've talked about the feedback, crossover, color, split, stereo, and mix. And then I also had talked about the unit. So I hope you guys found this tutorial to be of value. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section below, and I will try to answer you as soon as I can. It's your boy Young Fizz, aka Mr. Dope Status, and we will see you on the next video. Thank you for watching. We out.